Okay, so this video is about my dad because it's 5 a.m. I've been up all night working on the website, having a great time. And part of my great time, I was kind of imagining a moment that if my dad was still alive, how he would be. Because you have to know my dad, who's was a wonderful person, very unique individual. But see, right now he would probably be a pain in the ass because he would be. This is the kind of I was just imagining a conversation with my dad, how it would be going, how it would be going right now. I'd say, "Hi, son, how you doing?" I said, I was wondering, how are you? What are your plans on keeping up with all these adjustments that are occurring with social media? Do you have some sort of a protocol for which you're reviewing it? And I would say, well, yes, Dad, I actually do. I do. I review it. First of all, one of the things I do, Pops, is that the stuff that I do naturally, I learn not to schedule that. Okay, very good point, son. Very good point. I schedule, Dad, those things that I need to get done. See, well, that's a very, see, some of my stuff is rubbed off on you. Okay, see, but he's supportive. Like I said, my dad is supportive. Don't think he's not supportive, okay? But he would be studying shit. He would be studying shit because he'd be like, I've been reading some of these latest reports on the internet and the statistics, and I've been thinking about how healthcare is being affected today. And I see what you're doing, and I admire certain aspects of it because you're broad based, there, son. You're broad based, and I admire certain aspects of it. And so I myself was wondering about applying some of this, and maybe having you do some things for me. Because everything that I did well, my dad had me do for him. Like I did woodwork stuff, even though he called me wood chip, woodchuck. He called me, because I took wood shop in high school, and there was this one semester where the instructor liked me so much he wanted to be the foreman. So I was foreman for 1 hour, then I was in the class. And because that was 2 hours, my dad called me Woodchuck for like a year. We'll be like Woodchuck. See? I remember this is me reminiscing about my dad, because you have to remember, throughout all this, he had a sense of humor, a sarcastic sense of humor, which I've been told my sense of humor is somewhat like his, the witty, sarcastic wit that sometimes seems to be insulting you, and you're not quite so sure how they're doing it, but you're kind of sure they are insulting you. Anyway, so I want you guys to know that my dad was not that, even though when I was younger, okay, when I started writing poetry in junior high, my dad, after I gave him some of my first poems, my dad came in like a week later and said, I've talked to my dictation service, so I made arrangements for you to be able to dictate your poetry. You can call it up and dictate. Here's how the dictation service works, son. And you can call up, and I've already given instructions to prepare 2 copies, one for you, one for me, and have those sent out. And I was like, oh, well, thank you, Dad. Thank you. Thank you, Dad. See, my dad, and I've inherited this from him. I inherited from him the wondrous gift of being able to actually do things for other people, or give them things and have it perceived as pressure. See, my dad did this. See, you could express to him your dream, and then he would want to finance that. And you think that's good. Everybody was, oh, that's wonderful. It's okay. I'm just saying, in some ways, it is pressure. Okay, I'm just saying. It is pressure. So, anyway, where was I? So, my dad, okay, it's like my mom did everything. And my dad, like, did played, I don't know, he did whatever. See, he always had his own, your mother, the women do the early years and then we step in. Right, Dad, right, okay, whatever. The thing is, Mom did all the work. Mom did all the work, all the raising of the work. Mom did. Okay, Dad was paying for everything. That was his thing. Well, it's just like, you have to just be there, okay? I don't mind telling because the stories are so interesting. Stories are so interesting. Okay, so, okay. So my dad was supportive of my early years. All right, so he was supportive like that, bugging me. But then when I get to Howard, okay, and now it's supposed to be pre-med, anything I want to do creative, you really have time? Can you really fit this in your disciplined schedule? Like, Dad, really? Dad. Okay? It just... As I became pre-med, all of a sudden, my creativeness that he embraced so much earlier, now he was like worried I was like, it's like even when I was in medical school because I was talking about being creative, and rarely, okay, like once a month, I got a job on a Saturday night as a DJ, like once a month. Okay, and I can both make some money and have some fun DJing a party. And he talked about me. Yeah, it's like, you can't just be a physician. You got to be a rock star. The rock star physician. You can't just be that. And so I had to endure this. Because that was the way, he wanted to deal with my creative side after that. And, I remember when I was chief resident in LA County, running the pediatric ICU, 24 on, 24 off. Okay, LA County, pediatric ICU as faculty. I'm out at dinner with my father. And he's still kind of like, you guys are all want to be right. And I said, Dad. So I did everything your way, right? For the most part, right, Dad? I followed all your... Well, yes, you did, son. You did. I have to give... And you didn't work out well. I said, yes, it did, Dad. It did, Dad. I followed your instructions, Father, and it's worked out well. And that's what I'm saying. I'm thankful, Dad. Your advice is good. I followed your instructions, right, Dad? He says, yes. He said, yes, you did, son. You followed it. I said, I'm running the ICU, LA County, right? Faculty. Yes, very prestigious, son. Yeah, I said, okay, well, Dad, can I ask you something? Yeah, well, of course, son. So, is it okay for me to write a fucking song? See, then he doesn't say shit, see? It's like, I did everything, right? So now, okay? If I earned the right for a creative moment, I've satisfied the Hemsley protocol criteria as faculty at LA County Hospital. So it's okay if I have a creative moment right now, Dad, right? He's one of those transitional father-son moments. Because he didn't have shit to say. See, but I had to like go to Howard, graduate Phi Beta Kappa, magna cum laude, go to medical school, get my ass kicked, go to LA County, get my ass kicked some more, then be faculty. Then after all that shit, I could write a song. Y'all wonder why I'm... You see why I'm a weird motherfucker? See? And so this one's long enough. I'm going to be doing a series on my father, Dr. Hubert Hemsley, Stories about my father. Well, we try to get to the dating shit. I ain't even got to the dating. I just wanted to give you just the insert into this is impromptu. I'm on lockdown. I'm just thinking about my dad because he's on my shoulder, always talking to me. You know, it's funny. I'm one of the people, I feel a metaphysical presence. You know, so my dad, he would be happy with what I'm doing now. He would just be insightful. See, but I would be going like, how come you weren't more explicit about what to expect out of my dick? Because he did kind of give you dick warnings, like, right, you know, I'm getting old, dick is still hard. Like, what? That's what? And I'm like, now that I'm older, I understand. See, he didn't make it clear. Did he make it clear, yo? I'm telling you, men. Did he make it? No. I'm saying I love my dad. I'll tell you more dad stories. He's a reason for my success. He and my mama. My parents are. But I just want you to understand there's funny stories about my dad and my mom. Both of them. I'm going to tell them stories. See? I'm going to embarrass my mother before she go. My mother don't care. My mother thinks my storytelling is fun. She does. My mother's so encouraged. That's why, that's why I feel empowered. My parents gave me great encouragement, while also being somehow strangely disciplinarians at the same time and staying on my ass. At the same, while loving you, this said old style black parents, my mother was always watching me like, I'm just telling you, old style black parents, they still like, what are you up to, boy? My dad to be like, boy, I know you up to something. Like, I'm not up to, I was up to something, but shit, they don't know. Goddamn, prove it, shit. You can't indict me on thoughts. Anyway, coming up more stories about parenting and my parenting experience growing up here in View Park and what it was like to be in seemingly affluence, but yet it was still just not affluent enough that the police could still kick your ass and all other shit, okay? You still had to run from parties and all other shit. And so, despite all that, it was so affluent. But it was good. I'm not criticizing my upbringing. I'm just going to give you the inside scoop and also tell you a lot about my parents. This is Mario Hemsley, and it's been 5:17, and that's 13 plus minutes of your life you'll never get back. Bye.